Despite significant federal money available, too many of our schools still don't have universal meals. Can we at least agree to make sure all the kids are fed? Isn't that pro-family and pro-life?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Teachers go back to school here pretty soon, like next week, I believe. And Adam, teaching is really close to your heart. So I know that you have some thoughts as teachers go back to school.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, a lot of school systems in this area already started. My daughter's back in school, and I know a lot of schools across the area have already started. So we just want to send our love and solidarity to all the education workers and students out there. Hope y'all have a great school year. The work you do as educators is really important. You can make a difference in the lives of young people. Unfortunately, you're often not put in a position to be as effective as you could be. And the only way things are going to get better is through the power of solidarity and organizing. Alabama's 2024 legislative session saw some of the same struggles we're seeing across the South and the rest of the country, such as battles over race and gender and sexual identity, and battles over voucher programs for private schools, which has been a long-time project of the far right. As in much of the South, public schools in Alabama are inadequately and inequitably funded. Meanwhile, Alabama lawmakers are putting public school dollars into private pockets through the so-called Accountability Act and now the Choose Act. Educators in Alabama have less rights, less benefits, and less pay than educators in other states. Collective bargaining rights, paid parental leave, enforceable class size and caseload limits, reasonable planning time, and on we could go. A coalition of cranks and cynics are criminalizing teaching the truth while spreading misinformation that educators are indoctrinating and grooming kids. Meanwhile, various forms of bigotry are still too common in our public schools, however quote-unquote woke they are supposed to be according to this nonsense being spread. Alabama's public schools are graded according to metrics largely reflecting poverty and other socioeconomic factors. Meanwhile, Alabama lawmakers don't try to help poor and working class people. Quite the contrary. For everyday people, our state's quality of life ranks among the worst in the entire developed world. And yet some folks want you to believe that the poor rankings of our schools are a reflection of the teachers inside rather than the society surrounding the schools. If you're serious about improving academic achievement in this state, you better be serious about addressing poverty and the other social ills we expect our educators to fix. Our lawmakers proclaim to support family values. Yet in 2024, despite a proven program, we still don't have universal pre-K. Our state does very little when it comes to early childhood education, and doesn't even provide high-quality child care to education employees as a benefit, much less working families more broadly. The first few years of a child's life is critical to their development, but you wouldn't know that based on Alabama's policy choices. This lack of support has detrimental consequences that are long-lasting. And despite significant federal money available, too many of our schools still don't have universal meals. Can we at least agree to make sure all the kids are fed? Isn't that pro-family and pro-life? Now, I know some folks say that throwing money at the problem won't help, as if we've ever really tried that. It costs money to fully staff schools and to recruit and retain those staff. We need smaller student-to-adult ratios in various ways, alongside smaller class sizes. Remember, the working conditions of educators are also the learning conditions of students, and improving these ratios provides significant benefits to both. We need more social workers, mental health professionals, special education staff, translators, and English language learning staff and resources, math and reading coaches, counselors, librarians, along with after-school programs, summer programs, and other wraparound services. And I've probably left some stuff out. Yet this takes money. But these investments would not only immediately create decent jobs across all 67 counties of the state and boost local economies from the bottom up, the investments in our youth would pay dividends for generations to come. And I hate to use such market language, but I know that's how most of our lawmakers think.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Educators need other supports as well. They need real professional development based upon their needs and driven by their input. And yeah, they should be paid for it. We need to ensure folks are entering the education professions with generous grants and scholarships for folks willing to work in our schools after graduation. And we need to significantly improve mentorship and professional support programs and proactively invest to retain employees rather than have to spend money replacing them. And on that note of retention, let's take a moment to acknowledge there's too many educators out there who are being bullied or micromanaged by supervisors. There's too many folks in the higher paying management jobs who aren't doing their jobs well. And it's not lost on me that this majority female profession is expected to sacrifice for the children in ways we'd never expect other workers. From the out-of-pocket supplying of the classroom to the countless hours off the clock. Educators need the voice and protections of collective bargaining, and they need advocates and lawmakers willing to loudly, boldly speak this truth. And while we're expanding democracy in our schools, let's not forget public schools belong to the public, and we need to ensure school districts are transparent and engaging democratically with the communities they serve. At the state level, we need to fix our outdated funding formula for a more equitable distribution based on student needs. By the way, we came close to doing this decades ago, but it was stopped by right-wing forces, including Jeff Sessions. You probably almost forgot about that extremist, didn't you? And while moving to a more equitable funding formula, we need to make sure public school funding actually goes to public schools, rather than being diverted to pork projects or private schools, or unnecessarily locked away in multiple reserve accounts. You know, I haven't even really mentioned the support staff a whole lot yet, and they are critical to the functioning of our schools, yet too many are paid poverty wages across the state. And over the past decade plus, we've seen the spread of privatization, with districts outsourcing custodians, cafeteria workers, paraprofessionals, clerical staff, security guards, and more to temp agencies. These agencies collect their cut of profits at the expense of the workers, who lack the rights, healthcare, and retirement pension of school employees. And I've even seen these companies turn around and make donations to the school board candidates who vote on these contracts. We have to put a stop to this practice. And in the meantime, the workers at these agencies, they should unionize. Across our state, many of our schools are in critical need of structural improvements. From moldy ceilings to broken playgrounds to portable classrooms to lack of high-speed internet, there's plenty of work to be done. And there's tons of federal resources to take advantage of, whether it's with clean buses, rooftop solar, HVAC upgrades, or other energy updates. While it should have happened earlier during the pandemic, it's not too late to ensure all of our school buildings have proper air quality, which can significantly reduce illnesses and thus absences. We can put folks to work making these much-needed upgrades, helping not just the students and educators, but again, local economies as well. We need to revise the bid laws to ensure school districts can hire quality union labor for this construction. I could go on, but I'll stop there. Despite folks bragging about successful legislative sessions and record budgets, this is the reality of our public schools in Alabama. The only way we change that and win these reforms is with people power, the same thing we need to change anything else. Our students, families, and educators deserve better. We, the people, deserve better. It's going to take people power to win what we deserve, which means educators organizing inside and outside the workplace, while building coalitions with the public, including the students. It's going to take us as parents, grandparents, and community members getting involved in these coalition efforts pressuring decision makers, and taking collective action. We can learn from folks in other states in recent years, from CORE, the Caucus of Rank-and-File Educators in Chicago, to the Red for Ed movements across the country. We can learn from our own past, from the successful strikes in Scottsboro and Walker County decades ago, to more recent failures to defeat anti-education legislation. We can learn from the past to analyze our present and fight for our future. We, the people, can and must come together to demand excellent public education for all.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.
Which side are you